do that.
So it sounds like the secret sauce in your acting career is to do a good, solid 3 rom-coms.
Yeah, that's a formula.
And move on and don't ever look back.
I think that is, but I think it would be fun to, I always thought that about Woody Allen. Back in the day, in the 70s, Woody Allen made really funny movies, and some of them were rom-coms. And then I always thought he could go back and do something like Take the Money and Run or Bananas or even Annie Hall. It's a funny movie. He gets into these weird London thrillers and things about marriage. Like, he grew up too much. You lose your sense of humor, you lose your way in your rom-coms. And that is why when I bring up these lines, is there's a lot of funny stuff in rom-coms, and there's a lot of like slapstick, and there's a lot of, oh my God, misunderstanding and this, and is he going to catch the train, and oh my God, that. But it can all be boiled down into this moment of clarity, just like every relationship is. If you can have this moment of clarity, a lot of clouds can part and a lot of things can get better, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so. I hope so. If they can do it in the movies, can't we?
Well, that's what I think. These
that's
are
what
not
gives
simple
us hope.
things.
That's what my therapist says, at least.
Yeah, I think if we can do it in the movies, like, these are not unrealistic scenarios. These are not superhero movies, and these are not, murder movies. These are all good romantic comedy. You should want to be in a romantic comedy. It's like, what's the stupid movie with Rain? Not Rain Wilson. What's her name?
Rita Wilson?
No, the chubby blonde.
Oh, me?
The Australian. No, not you. What's her name?
Not Amy
Schumer, the British one who.
From Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson.
Thank you.
Rain Wilson. I was close.
She's not chubby anymore.
She's not chubby anymore.
She looks great.
That's why she's not funny.
Yeah.
It's a bad risk.
What kind of movies is she going to do now?
I don't know, but she is in a movie that is like very meta. It's like My Whole Life is a rom-com, and it's about rom-coms, and it picks out all of the of the things. It does. It makes fun of them, but at its core, the fundamentals of a relationship and the beats of the way it goes, you have some early struggles. You've got to work through that. You got to get through the ick. You've got to overcome some things. There may or may not be, there's a crisis point. There's a plot point. It could be career. It could be this. It could be that. Family. Everything's crazy. And then at some point, somebody in the rom-com is like, oh my God, I've got to run after the airplane, or oh my God, I've got to do this, or Richard Gere's like, oh my God, I'm not going to do the business deal anymore. I'm going to go back. And these are the moments that we are capable of having. And these are the conversations I think we're capable of having.
Sure.
Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm off on a crazy tangent?
No, I agree with you. I'm just thinking, I feel like you have this beautiful, magical story. You watch this movie, whatever, and the screen turns off, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to find that. And even if you do, then it's like, but then what's next? So I guess that's why it's good that we have these Jack Nicklaus movies.
No, Jack Nicklaus is a golfer. So we have Jack Nicklaus movies.
With Tiger Woods? No, that's not a thing? Okay.
Yeah, there aren't many sequels.
No, they should do that and follow the sequel through different stages of life.
I mean, you could sort of look at the Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan movies as sort of sequels of themselves. They don't, because it's kind of tough to be what comes next. And when they settle into, who I'm going to give credit to for a long run of rom-coms, despite her not being very well liked by the industry or the public.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Katherine Heigl.
Yes.
Yeah.
She had like 7 in a row where she was like, they made somebody really took people really took a liking to her.
I enjoyed her. I feel like she kind of ran.
I feel like that she got parts that if they split them all up to a bunch of different actresses, it would have been fine. She really got a run of like 7 in a row. Mm-hmm. Where's she now?
Well, I think she had lots of run-ins and people didn't like working with her.
People didn't like her on Grey's Anatomy either.
I did. I loved her. I was kind of sad when she left.
But she had a strong run, and we probably should not disqualify that. She has had more, if you added up Katherine Heigl's box office and compared it to Jennifer Aniston's box office, Katherine Heigl's blew her away.
So some people will argue that it was because she fixed her teeth. They were like a little crooked. I loved her smile before. She fixed them, and it's like too perfect now.
The snaggletooth that we've talked about a lot. I like the snaggletooth.
I loved it.
Is it like,
I wanted it.
Is it like Jennifer Grey fixing the nose?
Yeah. Oh, I think that was a good decision. I agree with that one, though.
The Jennifer Grey?
Yeah.
It ruined her career.
No, but
it's not a good decision.
You think?
We knew what she looked like.
I think it helped her.
How did it help her? We never saw her again.
Maybe she didn't want to act as much.
She wants to act as much.
Oh, she does? Okay.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston
You
got
know
a
who
nose
didn't?
job.
A little bit more of a tangent. You know who disappeared and didn't want to act anymore and was a big star? She's a little bit before your time, maybe.
No.
Bridget Fonda.
Yeah.
Bridget Fonda was a huge star.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm out. I'm done.
I don't know a lot about her.
Well, she's a Fonda. So she quit the family business and she was very successful. And there was like a 10-year period where Bridget Fonda was like the biggest female
What's her
star.
relationship to Jane Fonda?
It's her aunt.
Okay.
Jane's her aunt.
Okay.
I think her father's Peter, her grandfather's Henry, you know.
Peter, Paul, and Mary. Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, not Peter, Paul, and Mary. So she was and then she got married to somebody wealthy, maybe Danny Elfman.
Don't ask me.
Somebody, some composer, and then she's like, I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. And she just quit, and we never saw her again.
I feel like that's probably a very healthy thing to do, though. Don't
Maybe.
you think? Once you get a
For
little taste
years, producers tried to get Nancy Reagan to come back and do another movie after Reagan was out of the White House. And she was considering it, but he was always very sick, Reagan. So she didn't feel good about going back and doing a movie while Ronald Reagan was still he had Alzheimer's, and she didn't. And then by then it was a little too late, but she was considered for a while to come back.
No,
and do
I
a
didn't
movie.
know that. Mm-mm. Thanks, Dan, for the fan.
Bridget Fonda, she was big, but some people just disappear. It's like, whatever happened to them?
Yeah.
I think Katie Heigl's in that category.
I think
Is
she
she on
kind
a
of did that
show?
to herself.
Or-
though. No, she's been on stuff.
Sometimes I forget, and
I
then
tried to
and
watch
then
it,
they're
I
on
didn't like
some version of CSI,
Yeah.
and I don't know about it. Or they're on some Law and Order. I'm like, whatever happened to them? They're on Law and Order, or they're on NCIS, or Criminal Minds, and I'm like, oh, that's where they go.
You're going to offend the poor actors
well,
who are
'cause a
on
lot
there
of
doing
people
a great
go-
job.
They do. A lot of people go to TV now because there's a lot of good TV. You know.
So would you choose? Would you be in TVs or movies right now? If you starred in some kind of rom-com.
You want to be in TV. Like if
TV's
you want to
the
be on
way.
like a prestige HBO or Showtime show, the amount of people who consume those shows now blows away. Nobody goes to the movies anymore.
No.
I think you want to be on Succession every season. You know, I think you want to be on something like that, a good or any shows like those shows. You're on The Crown, you're on Euphoria, you're on the level of fame and probably money that those people get. You want to be Adam Sandler, though. Adam Sandler has perfected the Netflix recommendation algorithm that some 12-year-old's going to do a deep dive. They're going to watch every single one, and he's worth it to them.
And they're smart to do that.
He brings his whole family to Hawaii, and they shoot a movie, and it's probably great.
So here's a good question, random thought. If you had a teenager and they were like, what movies do you suggest I see so I learn how to talk to girls just getting started? Do you have like a top 2 or 3 that you would recommend?
That is a good question. Learn how to talk to girls just getting started.
Yeah, the very basics.
It's called Kicking and Screaming, not the Will Ferrell movie. It's a Noah Baumbach movie. It's my favorite movie. It goes back to like the, I think it's 80s or 90s movie. It's about like 6 people just sort of kicking around in the weeks and months just after they graduate. That is about trying to find, everybody rent that, Kicking and Screaming, not the Will Ferrell one.
So is the Will Ferrell one a remake of that
No,
one? Or
no,
they're
they
completely unrelated?
One has an ampersand and one doesn't, I think.
Okay.
The Will Ferrell one is not that. It's Kicking and Screaming. It has a lot of guys saying the wrong thing and working through, like, I don't know quite how to say it correctly in it. So it really is a good thing. Like, here's what makes them respond well. Here's saying the right thing. That's the movie I would recommend.
Okay. Any others?
And you?
Oh, I don't know. I was asking you.
Oh, that's the movie I would recommend.
That's the number one?
And it holds up. It's got a good.
And
lot
is
of
that
good
both
80s
for
stuff
boys
in it.
and girls, or mostly boys?
That might be a 90s movie. Look that up. Google Kicking and Screaming.
Google.
It might be. I need to see. Then it falls into your wheelhouse. We're Googling on the air. This is really good.
I can't talk and Google at the same time.
It's 1995, so it is fodder for your show.
All I get is the Will Ferrell.
Parker Posey was in it. Parker Posey had a long run of 90s movies,
When did the Will Ferrell one come out?
like 2000s.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll add it to my list.
Has Will Ferrell been in a romantic comedy where he's the lead?
Elf?
Has he kissed a girl on screen?
Right?
Did
Did they kiss? Did he kiss Zoe Deschanel in that?
I don't know.
We'll have to go back. I know.
People-
a Christmas rom-com.
People always bring up the people a lot tell me I look like Mark Ruffalo.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the very first thing I said to you when I
I know.
first met
Everybody
you.
tells me that. And my line to that is, well, he never gets the girl in any movie. He's never the
he
leading
does.
man. And they
Yes, he does.
always bring up that body switching movie with Jennifer with
13 going on 30.
correct. Is that a good movie?
That's a great movie.
Oh, it is? Because I've never seen it.
Oh, you really?
I've never seen it. It's
Okay,
like
download it and
25
watch
years
it.
old.
Oh, it's a great one.
She's
It's a good
13 going on
storyline.
30?
Yes.
What is the mechanism for her switching the body?
So she has her birthday party, her 13th birthday party. She has a bad time. She goes in the closet and she basically makes a wish. And she's like, I just want to be 30, flirty, and thriving. And then all this like magic dust falls
it's
on
a
her.
wish.
And she wakes up and she comes to life and she is suddenly 30 years old. And she
Okay.
has a job at a magazine company.
There's one of those with
Maddie.
Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds a couple years ago. Ryan Reynolds could be on this list soon if we think about it. Because he doesn't do a whole lot of serious movies still.
Yeah.
He still does a lot of
I
silliness
liked him back
in
on
his
that
thing.
pizza show. What was that? His first
What was
show
that
that
pizza
he did.
show? I think it was called
Two
like
guys in a pizza
Two
hut.
Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza and a Pizza Hut.
McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and a Pizza Hut. Have
that-
you ever heard that? I don't know.
No, I didn't.
The thoughts that go on in my
wherever
head.
you grew up,
say
I
Pizza
didn't hear
Hut,
that.
and I think of that. Anyway, yeah, it was two guys, a girl, and a pizza place. I think is what it was. And before that, he was.
We
on
brought up
15.
Crazy Stupid Love, which Steve Carell is in. Do we consider 40-Year-Old Virgin to be a romantic comedy?
Absolutely.
think-
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a bro thing, but there is a love interest that drives it that he
Well, what
gets
are
to.
the components of an actual rom-com?
I think a component of a rom-com is the A plot point has to be that they fall in love. And the A plot point in 40-Year-Old Virgin is that he loses his virginity. Mm-hmm. So I'm not quite sure that
Still romantic comedy.
counts.
Yeah.
It is. Pretty Woman, she was clearly no virgin.
Have we had any same-sex rom-coms yet?
I'm sure we have. The one with that made was it My Best Friend's Wedding that Rupert Everett was in, and he was like the first sort of famous person to be like,
When
I'm
I
gay.
wake up.
It really did hurt his career, which is odd looking back. Like he came out of the closet and we don't see him anymore.
You're right.
And he stole that
yeah.
movie, and he was a big star for a flash, and then he's like, I'm gay, and it
That was a good one.
every time
Yeah.
somebody's like, oh, everybody's fine with somebody being gay, it limits and you should be, it does limit the parts.
Who was the guy on Will and Grace? The guy who played Will. He's not actually gay in real life, is he? I don't think so.
So they say.
Okay.
I don't know, but it does
always thought
hurt the ability to kiss the girl on screen. And you are limiting your parts when you do that,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I want to see some like same-sex rom-coms.
So do I.
We need to bring it up.
See, I think
LGBTQ.
the silliness of straight people, the gay people be like, that's so dumb.
They are kind of dumb. Like
They are
we've made the
kinda
same
dumb.
mistakes 1,000 different ways in these movies,
Yeah, they are.
but they are still funny.
And before I get a bunch of letters, yeah, we named too many white ones.
Oh,
We did fuck up on that. I didn't realize that till in this moment. You brought the LGBT. It was a very white lineup we just did.
well, what else is there? Are there a lot of
Well, let's Crazy Rich Asians absolutely is a
yeah,
rom
that's
com,
a
and it's
good
a
one.
very
Sure.
good one.
Yeah.
She did, but there's a whole series of black ones and Jewish ones. There's a lot of
Barbershop.
Jewishy angsty ones.
Is Barbershop a rom-com? It's
That
been so long
sounds
since I've
racist. You
seen
just threw out
it.
like one black movie that you said
No,
like
but I
Fridays. It's terrible. See, I'm gonna get emails because of that.
No, I'm thinking, what's the one with Queen Latifah? And she works in a hair shop. Is that
Think
Barbershop?
Like a Man?
But that's a rom-com.
Think Like a Man.
I don't
Isn't that based on Steve Harvey's book? Isn't that a Latifah?
know. I like her. I love her. And she was one that at the time, too, we didn't know she was gay, and she came out, and I
Isn't like
respect
yeah?
her.
Think Like a Man's Kevin Hart movies. Does he ever get? He doesn't get the girl really, right?
Yeah, Kevin
I've
Hart's
got one.
short.
Before your letters come in, one of the greatest. I think this is one of the. It's the fairy tale again. One of the greatest romantic comedies ever is Coming to America.
That one I don't think I ever saw. Because
What-
that was like late 80s, early 90s.
So
yeah.
well, the new one came
I don't
out,
know.
but Coming to America is a romantic comedy, and it's a fantastic
Mm-hmm.
romantic comedy.
Didn't people win awards for that one, too? Acting awards? Someone was up for some kind of award from that.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but I mean, Coming to America 2 just came out last year. But that Eddie Murphy was leading man material for a long time, and he was. But there's a whole series of interchangeable Tay Diggs rom-coms.
I feel really bad. Did we really hurt people's feelings?
Yeah, we probably
I'm
did.
sorry.
We did.
I'm sorry.
All right, cards and letters, send them in. But my point of all this wasn't necessarily to rate Jennifer Aniston's movie career. It's to say that if you take the time and take a beat, and whether you got to